May our Father, Messiah, and the Holy Spirit be with us, brothers and sisters. I pray that you all are well. We will be continuing back at Jeremiah chapter 11. The word that came to Jeremiah from our Father in heaven, saying, Hear you the words of this covenant, and speak to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and say you to them, This says our Father in heaven, Elohim of Israel, Cursed be the man that obeys not the words of this covenant, which I commanded your fathers in the day that I brought them forth out of the land of Egypt, from the iron furnace, saying, Obey my voice and do them according to all which I command you. So will you be my people, and I will be your Elohim, that I may perform the oath which I have sworn to your fathers, to give them a land flowing with milk and honey, as it is this day. Then answered I, and said, So be it, O Father. Then our Father in heaven said to me, Proclaim all these words in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem, saying, Hear you the words of this covenant, and do them. For I earnestly protested to your fathers in the day that I brought them up out of the land of Egypt, even to this day, rising early and protesting, saying, Obey my voice. Yet they obeyed not, nor inclined their ear, but walked every one in the imagination of their evil heart. Therefore I will bring upon them all the words of this covenant which I commanded them to do, but they did them not. And our Father in heaven said to me, A conspiracy is found among the men of Judah and among the inhabitants of Jerusalem. They are turned back to the iniquities of their forefathers, which refused to hear my words, and they went after other Elohims to serve them. The house of Israel and the house of Judah have broken my covenant which I made with their fathers. Therefore this says our Father in heaven, Behold, I will bring evil upon them, which they will not be able to escape. And though they will cry to me, I will not hearken to them. Then will the cities of Judah and inhabitants of Jerusalem go and cry to the Elohims, to whom they offer incense, but they will not save them at all in the time of their trouble. For according to the number of your cities were your Elohims, O Judah, and according to the number of the streets of Jerusalem, have you set up altars to that shameful thing, even altars to burn incense to Baal. Therefore pray not you for this people, neither lift up a cry or prayer for them, for I will not hear them in the time that they cry to me for their trouble. What have my beloved to do in my house, seeing she has wrought lewdness with many, and the holy flesh is passed from you? When you do evil, then you rejoice. Our Father in heaven called your name, a green olive tree, fair, and of goodly fruit. With the noise of a great tumult, he has kindled fire upon it, and the branches of it are broken. For our Father in heaven of hosts, that planted you, has pronounced evil against you for the evil of the house of Israel and of the house of Judah, which they have done against themselves, to provoke me to anger in offering incense to Baal. And our Father in heaven has given me knowledge of it, and I know it. Then you showed me their doings. But I was like a lamb or an ox that is brought to the slaughter, and I knew not that they had devised devices against me, saying, Let us destroy the tree with the fruit thereof, and let us cut him off from the land of the living, that his name may no longer that his name may no more remembered, that his name may be no more remembered. But, O Father of hosts, that judges righteously, that tries the reins and the heart, let me see your vengeance on them, for to you have I revealed my cause. Therefore this says our Father in heaven of the men of Anathoth that seek your life, saying, Prophesy not the name of our Father in heaven, that you die not by our hand. Therefore this says our Father in heaven of hosts, Behold, I will punish them. The young men will die by the sword, their sons and their daughters will die by famine, and there will be no remnant of them, for I will bring evil upon the men of Anathoth, even the year of their visitation. Chapter 12. Righteous are you, O Father, when I plead with you. Yet let me talk with you of your judgments. Wherefore does the way of the wicked prosper? Wherefore are all they happy that deal very treacherously? You have planted them, yeah, they have taken root. They grow, yeah, they bring forth fruit. You are near in their mouth and far from their reins. But you, O Father, know me. You have seen me and tried my heart toward you. Pull them out like sheep for the slaughter, and prepare them for the day of slaughter. How long will the land mourn, and the herbs of every field wither, for the wickedness of them that dwell therein? The beasts are consumed, and the birds, because they said, He will not see our last end. If you have run with the footmen, and they have wearied you, then how can you contend with horses? And if in the land of peace, wherein you trusted, they wearied you, then how will you do in the swelling of Jordan? For even your brethren and the house of your father, even they have dealt treacherously with you. Yeah, they have called a multitude after you. Believe them not, though they speak fair words to you. I have forsaken my house. I have left my heritage. I have given the dearly beloved of my soul into the hand of her enemies. My heritage is to me as a lion in the forest. It cries out against me. Therefore have I hated it. My heritage is to me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come, you, assemble all the beasts of the field. Come to devour. Many pastors have destroyed my vineyard. They have trodden my portion underfoot. They have made my pleasant portion a desolate wilderness. They have made it desolate, and being desolate, it mourns to me. The whole land is made desolate, because no man lays it to heart. The spoilers are come upon all high places through the wilderness, for the sword of our Father in heaven will devour from the one end of the land, even to the other end of the land. No flesh will have peace. They have sown wheat, but will reap thorns. They have put themselves to pain, but will not profit. They will be ashamed of your revenues because of the fierce anger of our Father in heaven. This says our Father in heaven against all my evil neighbors that touch the inheritance which I have caused my people Israel to inherit. Behold, I will pluck them out of their land, and pluck out the house of Judah from among them. And it will come to pass, after that I have plucked them out, I will return and have compassion on them, and will bring them again, every man to his heritage, and every man to his land. And it will come to pass, if they will diligently learn the ways of my people, to swear by my name, our Father lives, as they taught my people to swear by Baal. Then will they be built in the midst of my people. But if they will not obey, I will utterly pluck up and destroy that nation, says our Father in heaven. Chapter 13. This says our Father in heaven to me, Go and get you a linen girdle, and put it upon your loins, and put it not in water. So I got a girdle according to the word of our Father in heaven, and put it on my loins. And the word of our Father in heaven came to me the second time, saying, Take the girdle that you have got, which is upon your loins, and arise up to Euphrates, and hide it there in a hole of the rock. So I went and hid it by Euphrates, as our Father in heaven commanded me. And it came to pass, after many days, that our Father in heaven said to me, Arise, go to Euphrates, and take the girdle from there, which I commanded you to hide there. Then I went to Euphrates, and digged and took the girdle from the place where I had hid it, and behold, the girdle was marred, it was profitable for nothing. Then the word of our Father in heaven came to me, saying, This says our Father in heaven, After this manner will I mar the pride of Judah and the great pride of Jerusalem. This evil people which refuse to hear my words, which walk in the imagination of their heart, and walk after other Elohims to serve them and to worship them, will even be as this girdle, which is good for nothing. For as the girdle cleaves to the loins of a man, so have I caused to cleave to me the whole house of Israel and the whole house of Judah, says our Father in heaven, that they might be to me for a people, and for a name, and for a praise, and for a glory. But they will not hear. Therefore, you will speak to them this word. This says our Father in heaven, Elohim of Israel, every bottle will be filled with wine. And they will say to you, Do we not certainly know that every bottle will be filled with wine? Then will you say to them, This says our Father in heaven, Behold, I will fill all the inhabitants of this land, even the kings that sit upon David's throne, and the priests and the prophets, and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem with drunkenness. And I will dash them one against another, even the fathers and the sons together, says our Father in heaven. I will not pity, nor spare, nor have mercy, but destroy them. Hear you and give ear. Be not proud, for our Father in heaven has spoken. Give glory to our Father in heaven, your Elohim, before he caused darkness, and before your feet stumble upon the dark mountains. And while you look for light, he turns it into the shadow of death, and make it gross darkness. But if you will not hear it, my soul will weep in secret places for your pride, and my eye will weep sore and run down with tears, because our father's flock is carried away captive. Say to the king and to the queen, Humble yourselves, sit down, for your principalities will come down, even the crown of your glory. The cities of the south will be shut up, and none will open them. Judah will be carried away captive, all of it. It will be wholly carried away captive. Lift up your eyes and behold them that come from the north, where is the flock that was given you, your beautiful flock? What will you say when he will punish you? For you have taught them to be captains, and as chief over you. Will not sorrows take you as a woman in travail? And if you say in your heart, Wherefore come these things upon me? For the greatness of your iniquity are your skirts discovered, and your heels made bare. Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may you also do good, that are accustomed to do evil. Therefore will I scatter them as the stubble that passes away by the wind of the wilderness. This is your lot. The portion of your measures from me, says our Father in heaven, because you have forgotten me and trusted in falsehood. Therefore will I discover your skirts upon your face, that your shame may appear. I have seen your adulteries and your neighings, the lewdness of your whoredom and your abominations on the hills of the fields. Woe to you, O Jerusalem! Will you not be made clean? When will it once be? Chapter 14. The word of our Father in heaven that came to Jeremiah concerning the dearth. Judah mourns, and the gates thereof languish. They are black to the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up. And their nobles have sent their little ones to the waters. They came to the pits and found no water. They returned with their vessels empty. They were ashamed and confounded and covered their heads. Because the ground is chapped, for there was no rain in the earth, the plowmen were ashamed. They covered their heads. Yeah, the hind also calved in the field and forsook it, because there was no grass. And the wild asses did stand in the high places. They snuffed up the wind like dragons. Their eyes did fail because there was no grass. O Father, though our iniquities testify against us, do you it for your name's sake, for our backslidings are many. We have sinned against you. O, the hope of Israel, the Savior thereof, in time of trouble, why should you be as a stranger in the land and as a wayfaring man that turns aside to tarry for a night? Why should you be as a man astonished, as a mighty man that cannot save? Yet you, O Father, are in the midst of us, and we are called by your name. Leave us not. This says our Father in heaven to this people. This have they loved to wonder. They have not refrained their feet. Therefore our Father in heaven does not accept them. He will not remember their iniquity and visit their sins. Then said our Father in heaven to me, pray not for this people for their good. When they fast, I will not hear their cry. And when they offer burnt offering and an oblation, I will not accept them. But I will consume them by the sword and by the famine and by the pestilence. Then said I, Father, Elohim, behold, the prophets say to them, you will not see the sword, neither will you have famine, but I will give you assured peace in this place. Then our Father in heaven said to me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name. I sent them not, neither have I commanded them, neither spake to them. They prophesied to you a false vision and divination, and a thing of naught, and the deceit of their heart. Therefore, this says our Father in heaven concerning the prophets that prophesy in my name, and I sent them not. Yet they say, sword and famine will not be in this land. By sword and famine will those prophets be consumed. And the people to whom they prophesy will be cast out in the streets of Jerusalem because of the famine and the sword, and they will have none to bury them. Them, their wives, their sons, nor their daughters, for I will pour their wickedness upon them. Therefore you will say this word to them, let my eyes run down with tears night and day, and let them not cease. For the virgin daughter of my people is broken with a great breach, with a very grievous blow. If I go forth into the field, then behold the slain with the sword. And if I enter into the city, then behold them that are sick with famine. Yea, both the prophet and the priest go about into a land that they know not. Have you utterly rejected Judah? Have your soul loathed Zion? Why have you smitten us? And there is no healing for us. We looked for peace, and there is no good, and for the time of healing, and behold, trouble. We acknowledge, O Father, our wickedness, and the iniquity of our fathers, for we have sinned against you. Do not abhor us, for your name's sake. Do not disgrace the throne of your glory. Remember, break not your covenant with us. Are there any among the vanities of Gentiles that can cause rain? Or can the heavens give showers? Are not you he, O Father, our Elohim? Therefore, we will wait upon you, for you have made all these things. Chapter 15. Then said our Father to me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. And it will come to pass, if they say to you, whither will we go forth? Then you will tell them, this says our Father in heaven, such as are for death to death, and such as are for the sword to the sword, and such as are for the famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity. And I will appoint over them 4 kinds, says our Father in heaven, the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the earth, to devour and destroy. And I will cause them to be removed into all kingdoms of the earth, because of Manasseh, the son of Hezekiah, king of Judah, for that which he did in Jerusalem. For who will have pity upon you, O Jerusalem? Or who will bemoan you? Or who will go aside to ask how you do? You have forsaken me, says our Father in heaven. You are gone backward. Therefore will I stretch out my hand against you and destroy you. I am weary with repenting. And I will fan them with a fan in the gates of the land. I will bereave them of children. I will destroy my people, since they return not from their ways. Their widows are increased to me above the sand of the seas. I have brought upon them against the mother of the young men a spoiler at noonday. I have caused him to fall upon it suddenly, and terrors upon the city. She that has borne 7 languishes, she has given up the ghost. Her son is gone down, while it was yet day. She has been ashamed and confounded, and the residue of them will I deliver to the sword before their enemies, says our Father in heaven. Woe is me, my mother, that you have borne me a man of strife and a man of contention to the whole earth. I have neither lent on usury, nor men have lent to me on usury, yet every one of them does curse me. Our Father in heaven said, Verily, it will be well with the remnant. Verily, I will cause the enemy to entreat you well in the time of evil and in the time of affliction. Will iron break the northern iron and the steel? Your substance and your treasures will I give to the spoil without price, and that for all your sins, even in all your borders. And I will make you to pass with your enemies into a land which you know not. For a fire is kindled in my anger, which will burn upon you. O Father, you know. Remember me and visit me and revenge me of my persecutors. Take me not away in your long suffering. Know that for your sake I have suffered rebuke. Your words were found, and I did eat them. And your word was to me the joy and rejoicing of my heart, for I am called by your name, O Father, Elohim of hosts. I sat not in the assembly of the mockers, nor rejoiced. I sat alone because of your hand, for you have filled me with indignation. Why is my pain perpetual and my wound incurable, which refuses to be healed? Will you be altogether to me as a liar, and as waters that fail? Therefore, this says our Father in heaven, if you return, then will I bring you again, and you will stand before me. And if you take forth the precious from the vial, you will be as my mouth. Let them return to you, but return not you to them. And I will make you to this people a fenced brazen wall, and they will fight against you, but they will not prevail against you. For I am with you to save you and to deliver you, says our Father in heaven. And I will deliver you out of the hand of the wicked, and I will redeem you out of the hand of the terrible. Chapter 16. The word of our Father in heaven came also to me, saying, You will not take you a wife, neither will you have sons or daughters in this place. For this says our Father in heaven concerning the sons and concerning the daughters that are born in this place, and concerning their mothers that bear them, and concerning their fathers that begat them in this land. They will die of grievous deaths. They will not be lamented, neither will they be buried, but they will be as dung upon the face of the earth, and they will be consumed by the sword and by famine, and their carcasses will be meat for the fowls of heaven and for the beasts of the earth. For this says our Father in heaven, enter not into the house of mourning, neither go to lament, nor bemoan them. For I have taken away my peace from this people, says our Father in heaven, even loving kindness and mercies. Both the great and the small will die in this land. They will not be buried, neither will men lament for them, nor cut themselves, nor make themselves bald for them. Neither will men tear themselves for them in mourning, to comfort them for the dead. Neither will men give them the cup of consolation to drink for their father or for their mother. You will not also go into the house of feasting to sit with them to eat and to drink. For this says our Father in heaven of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, behold, I will cause to cease out of this place in your eyes and in your days the voice of mirth and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride. And it will come to pass when you will show this people all these words, and they will say to you, wherefore has our Father in heaven pronounced all this great evil against us? Or what is our iniquity? Or what is our sin that we have committed against our Father in heaven, our Elohim? Then will you say to them, because your fathers have forsaken me, says our Father in heaven, and have walked after other Elohims, and have served them, and have worshipped them, and have forsaken me, and have not kept my law. And you have done worse than your fathers, for, behold, you walk every one after the imagination of his evil heart, that they may not hearken to me. Therefore will I cast you out of this land, into a land that you know not, neither you nor your fathers. And there will you serve other Elohims day and night, where I will not show you favor. Therefore, behold, the days come, says our Father in heaven, that it will no more be said, our Father lives, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But our Father lives, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north, and from all the lands whither he had driven them. And I will bring them again into their land that I gave to their fathers. Behold, I will send for many fishers, as our Father in heaven, and they will fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they will hunt them from every mountain, and from every hill, and out of the holes of the rocks. For my eyes are upon all their ways. They are not hid from my face, neither is their iniquity hid from my eyes. And first I will recompense their iniquity and their sin double, because they have defiled my land. They have filled my inheritance with the carcasses of their detestable and abominable things. O Father, my strength and my fortress, and my refuge in the day of affliction, the Gentiles will come to you from the ends of the earth and will say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. Will a man make Elohims to himself? And they are no Elohims. Therefore, behold, I will this once cause them to know. I will cause them to know my hand and my might. They will know that my name is our Father in heaven. Chapter 17. The son of Judah is written with a pen of iron and with the point of a diamond. It is graven upon the table of their heart and upon the horns of your altars. While your children remembered their altars and their groves by the green trees upon the high hills. O my mountain in the field, I will give your substance and all your treasures to the spoil, and your high places for sin throughout all your borders. And you, even yourself, will continue from your will continue from your heritage, and I will give you from your heritage that I gave you. And I will cause you to serve your enemies in the land which you know not, for you have kindled a fire in my anger which will burn forever. This says our Father in heaven. Cursed be the man that trusts in man and makes flesh his arm, and whose heart departs from our Father in heaven. For he will be like the heath in the desert, and will not see when good comes, but will inherit the parched places in the wilderness, in a salt land and not inhabited. Blessed is the man that trusts in our Father, and whose hope our Father is. For he will be as a tree planted by the waters, and that spreads out her roots by the river, and will not see when he comes, but her leaf will be green, and will not be careful in the year of drought, neither will cease from yielding fruit. The heart is deceitful above all things, and desperately wicked. Who can know it? I, your Father in heaven, search the heart. I try the reins, even to every man according to his ways, and according to the fruit of his doings. As the partridge sits on eggs, and hatches them not, so he that gets riches, and not by right, will leave them in the middle of his days, and at his end will be a fool. A glorious high throne from the beginning is the place of our sanctuary. O Father, the hope of Israel, all that forsake you will be ashamed, and they that depart from me will be written in the earth, because they have forsaken our Father in heaven, the fountain of living waters. Heal me, O Father, and I will be healed. Save me, and I will be saved, for you are my praise. Behold, they say to me, where's the word of our Father in heaven? Let it come now. As for me, I have not hastened from being a pastor to follow you. Neither have I desired the woeful day. You know, that which came out of my lips was right before you. Be not a terror to me. You are my hope in the day of evil. Let them be confounded that persecute me, but let not me be confounded. Let them be dismayed, but let not me be dismayed. Bring upon them the day of evil, and destroy them with double destruction. This says our Father in heaven to me. Go and stand in the gate of the children of the people, whereby the kings of Judah come in, and by the which they go out, and in all the gates of Jerusalem, and say to them, hear you the word of our Father in heaven, you kings of Judah, and all Judah, and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem that enter in by these gates. This says our Father in heaven, take heed to yourselves, and bear no burden on the Sabbath day, nor bring it in by the gates of Jerusalem. Neither carry forth the burden out of your houses on the Sabbath day, neither do you any work, but hallow you the Sabbath day, as I commanded your fathers. But they obeyed not, neither inclined their ear, but made their necks stiff, that they might not hear, nor receive instruction. And it will come to pass, if you diligently hearken to me, says our Father in heaven, to bring in no burden through the gates of this city on the Sabbath day, but hallow the Sabbath day, to do no work therein. Then will there enter into the gate of this city kings and princes sitting upon the throne of David, riding in chariots and on horses, they and their princes, the men of Judah. and the inhabitants of Jerusalem. And this city will remain forever. And they will come from the cities of Judah, and from the places about Jerusalem, and from the land of Benjamin, and from the plain, and from the mountains, and from the south, bringing burnt offerings and sacrifices and meat offerings and incense, and bringing sacrifices of praise to the house of our Father in heaven. But you will not hearken to me to hallow the Sabbath day, and not to bear a burden, even entering in at the gates of Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. Then will I kindle a fire in the gates thereof, and it will devour the palaces of Jerusalem, and it will not be quenched. Chapter 18. The word which came to Jeremiah from our Father in heaven, saying, Arise, and go down to the potter's house, and there I will cause you to hear my words. Then I went down to the potter's house, and behold, he wrought a work on the wheels, and the vessel that he made of clay was marred in the hand of the potter. So he made it again another vessel, as seemed good to the potter to make it. Then the word of our Father in heaven came to me, saying, O house of Israel, cannot I do with you as this potter? Says our Father in heaven. Behold, as the clay is in the potter's hand, so are you in my hand, O house of Israel. At what instant I will speak concerning a nation and concerning a kingdom, to pluck up and to pull down and to destroy it. If that nation against whom I have pronounced turn from their evil, I will repent of the evil that I thought to do to them. And at what instant I will speak concerning a nation and concerning a kingdom, to build and to plant it. If it do evil in my sight, that it obey not my voice, then I will repent of the good wherewith I said I would benefit them. Now therefore, go to speak to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, saying, This says our Father in heaven, Behold, I frame evil against you, and devise a device against you. Return you now every one from his evil way, and make your ways and your doings good. And they said, There is no hope, but we will walk after our own devices, and we will every one do the imagination of his evil heart. Therefore, this says our Father in heaven, Ask you now among the heathen, who has heard such things? The Virgin of Israel has done a very horrible thing. Will a man leave the snow of Lebanon, which comes from the rock of the field? Or will the cold flowing waters that come from another place be forsaken? Because my people have forgotten me. They have burned incense to vanity, and they have caused them to stumble in their ways from the ancient paths, to walk in paths in a way not cast up, to make their land desolate and a perpetual hissing. Every one that passes thereby will be astonished and wag his head. I will scatter them as with an east wind before the enemy. I will show them the back and not the face in the day of their calamity. Then said they, Come, and let us devise devices against Jeremiah, for the law will not perish from the priest, nor counsel from the wise, nor the word from the prophet. Come, and let us smite him with the tongue, and let us not give heed to any of his words. Give heed to me, O Father, and hearken to me, and hearken to the voice of them that contend with me. Will evil be recompense for good? For they have digged a pit for my soul. Remember that I stood before you to speak good for them, and to turn away your wrath from them. Therefore deliver up their children to the famine, and pour out their blood by the force of the sword, and let their wives be bereaved of their children, and be widows, and let their men be put to death. Let their young men be slain by the sword in battle. Let a cry be heard from their houses, when you will bring a troop suddenly upon them. For they have digged a pit to take me, and hid snares for my feet. Yet, Father, you know all their counsel against me, to slay me. Forgive not their iniquity, neither blot out their sin from your sight, but let them be overthrown before you. Deal this with them in the time of your anger. Chapter 19. This says our Father in heaven, Go and get a potter's earthen bottle, and take of the ancients of the people, and of the ancients of the priests, and go forth to the valley of the son of Hinnom, which is by the entry of the east gate, and proclaim there the words that I will tell you, and say, Hear you the word of our Father in heaven, O kings of Judah, and inhabitants of Jerusalem. This says our Father in heaven of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, Behold, I will bring evil upon this place, the which whosoever hears, his ears will tingle, because they have forsaken me, and have estranged this place, and have burned incense in it to other Elohims, whom neither they nor their fathers have known, nor the kings of Judah, and have filled this place with the blood of innocents. They have built also the high places of Baal, to burn their sons with fire for burnt offerings to Baal, which I commanded not, nor spake it, neither came it into my mind. Therefore, behold, the days come, says our Father in heaven, that this place will no more be called Tophet, nor the valley of the son of Hinnom, but the valley of slaughter. And I will make void the counsel of Judah and Jerusalem in this place, and I will cause them to fall by the sword before their enemies, and by the hands of them that speak their lives. And their carcasses will I give to be meat for the fowls of the heaven, and for the beasts of the earth. And I will make the city desolate and an hissing. Every one that passes thereby will be astonished and hiss because of all the plagues thereof. And I will cause them to eat the flesh of their sons, and the flesh of their daughters, and they will eat every one the flesh of his friend in the siege, and straitness were with their enemies, and they that seek their lives will straiten them. Then will you break the bottle in the sight of the men that go with you, and will say to them, This says our Father in heaven of hosts, Even so will I break this people in this city, as one breaks the potter's vessel that cannot be made whole again. And they will bury them in Tophet, till there be no place to bury. This will I do to this place, says our Father in heaven, and to the inhabitants thereof, and even make the city as Tophet. And the houses of Jerusalem and the houses of the kings of Judah will be defiled as the place of Tophet, because of all the houses upon whose roofs they have burned incense to all the hosts of heaven, and have poured out drink offerings to other Elohims. Then came Jeremiah from Tophet, where our Father in heaven had sent him to prophesy. And he stood in the court of our Father's house, and said to all the people, This says our Father in heaven of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, Behold, I will bring upon this city and upon all her towns all the evil that I have pronounced against it, because they have hardened their necks, that they might not hear my words. Chapter 20. Now Pashur, the son of Amir, the priest, who was also chief governor in the house of our Father in heaven, heard that Jeremiah prophesied these things. Then Pashur smote Jeremiah the prophet, and put him in the stocks that were in the high gates of Benjamin, which was by the house of our Father in heaven. And it came to pass on the morrow that Pashur brought forth Jeremiah out of the stocks. Then said Jeremiah to him, Our Father in heaven has not called your name Pashur, but Magor Misabib. For this says our Father in heaven, Behold, I will make you a terror to yourself and to all your friends, and they will fall by the sword of their enemies, and your eyes will behold it. And I will give all Judah into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he will carry them captive into Babylon, and will slay them with the sword. Moreover, I will deliver all the strength of this city, and all the labors thereof, and all the precious things thereof, and all the treasures of the kings of Judah will I give into the hand of their enemies, which will spoil them, and take them, and carry them to Babylon. And you, Pashur, and all that dwell in your house will go into captivity, and you will come to Babylon, and there you will die, and you will be buried there, you and all your friends, to whom you have prophesied lies. O Father, you have deceived me, and I was deceived. You are stronger than I, and have prevailed. I am in derision daily. Every one mocks me. For since I spake, I cried out. I cried violence and spoil, because the word of our Father in heaven was made a reproach to me, and a derision daily. Then I said, I will not make mention of him, nor speak any more in his name. But his word was in my heart as a burning fire shut up in my bones, and I was weary with forbearing, and I could not stay. For I heard the defaming of many, fear on every side. Report, say they, and we will report it. All my familiars watched for my halting, saying, Peradventure he will be enticed, and we will prevail against him, and we will take our revenge on him. But our Father is with me as a mighty terrible one. Therefore my persecutors will stumble, and they will not prevail. They will be greatly ashamed, for they will not prosper. Their everlasting confusion will never be forgotten. But, O Father of hosts, that tries the righteous and sees the reins in the heart, let me see your vengeance on them, for to you have I opened my cause. Sing to our Father in heaven, praise you. Sing to our Father in heaven, praise you, Father, for he has delivered the soul of the poor from the hand of evildoers. Cursed be the day wherein I was born. Let not the day wherein my mother bare me be blessed. Cursed be the man who brought tidings to my father, saying, A man-child is born to you, making him very glad. And let that man be as the cities which our Father in heaven overthrew and repented not. And let him hear the cry in the morning and the shouting at noontide, because he slew me not from the womb, or that my mother might have been my grave, and her womb to be always great with me. Wherefore come I forth out of the womb to see labor and sorrow, that my days should be consumed with shame. And Father willing, we will continue with Jeremiah chapter 21. May our Father, Messiah, and the Holy Spirit be with us, brothers and sisters. Repent, the kingdom of heaven is near.